you know, here in the labs we have a different sort of mandates, or I wouldn't call it mandate, but more responsibility or focus area. One of these is to focus on technology, obviously, you know, and check different trends and try technology, test them, and to see how they work. So the other part was to a little bit understanding what's happening out of this building. So trying to see what's happening in the tech community in town, and not just in town, but worldwide. So how we could see eventually SAS to work with the startups. We started off many years ago to start looking up how to work with a smaller company, but traditionally speaking, we've been working with major brands rather than small player. But as we know, innovation these days is done by guys sitting in garage or in small offices. We have an example here. There are a few guys in downtown that had a few ideas. So we've been engaging with Sogeti, which is one of our innovation partners. You have some people, a lot of people here around. There is Ola here, is the sales manager. There is Andreas. There is Carolina working with me, been working with me. I'm not forgetting anyone. No, and then there is Marley. Marley has been newly hired. You know, you're coming from New York City, so you hear a little bit more American accent than Italian. And we hired her for doing a little bit of scouting for us. So she's going to look up a little bit to keep an eye on the tech community and startup community in Stockholm here, and not only in Stockholm. And he's going to help us to introduce us to it, you know. So he's going to look up what's happening out there, and eventually, you know, pitching as opportunity for partnership or whatsoever. So we've been thinking about to set up a startup corner, lounge, whatever you want to call it. And this is the first trial, the first example. We will do 3 or 4 of them until March, roughly, in which we invite in different startups. And the idea is to see how we can work with partners or be inspired by them. So you will see different events from the lab perspective. There's the one breakfast seminar that we had like a month ago, in which we were introducing robotic. This is more hands-on. So these are things that actually we are doing prototyping. We want to showcase. We want to, you know, get you to know them or get you to inspire. So, and they are theme-based, like artificial intelligence. We will do one with VR and AR. We will do one for blockchain technology, whatever. This one is different. It's not a theme-based. It could be product or services-based, but it's more experience. So you might not see a connections with what we are doing daily, or you might if you are, you know, if you have an open heart and mind. But the idea is for you to listen in and to see what some guys, small guys and younger guys downtown can achieve without much money and without much branding or much customer group as we have it. Please welcome, Ali. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Yes, as Massimo mentioned, I'm from Sogeti, and I've been here working with labs, kind of starting to get a sense of what you all are working on here and how we can best kind of bring an outside-in perspective to best align with goals and objectives for SAS as an organization. I've been meeting with some of the different key players here from different teams. I'm very excited to be working so closely with everyone, and I really appreciate everyone being so open to share what you are all working on as well. And I would like to introduce Sebastian, who is co-founder of Bellico, and he will be talking about his startup. And like Massimo mentioned, it is not a travel startup. It has nothing to do with airplanes, but there is definitely a connection upon the brand promise that SAS promises with making time matter and making new experiences for the traveler and ways that people are living and interacting as technology helps bring our world to different business models and different ways of living. So I'd like to introduce Sebastian now to share a bit more about his company and what he's been working on.
Hi. Does everybody see the screen? Otherwise, I would suggest you just move a little bit.
Can't surely move the wall.
Okay, great. So yes, I'm Sebastian, and I'm one of the founders of Bellico. And I will talk about what we are doing soon. But first, let's start with this guy. So, does anybody in here knows who this guy is? No, yeah, so it's Charles Darwin. And he said something in The Origin of Species. I don't know if you read the book, it's an old book, but it say, let it also be borne in mind how infinitely complex and close-fitting are the mutual relations of all organic beings to each other and to the physical conditions of life. And consequently, what infinitely varied diversities of structure might be of use to each being under changing conditions of life. So, these are three things that I think we should talk about today, and it's mutual relations and how important they are towards your colleague or towards the customer. But also to have a diversity of structure, because when you have a changing condition, you need to have an organization that's ready for this. So remember these three, I will come back to them several times. So we are part of the circular economy, you probably heard about it, where you pay to use. Either it's a product or a service, so you need it now, not later. And this market is huge, so PVC states that by 2025, this market will actually be worth 5,286 billion SEK per year, so that's a lot of billions. I think you have a turnover of 40 billion SAS every year. So why are we here? Well, we saw a gap in the market, so other companies in this category weren't moving fast enough. They weren't innovative enough. So that's actually making us that we can have an opportunity. And other guys that saw this opportunity was, for example, Daniel. So he started this small company called Spotify, and they do music on demand. So you actually stream your music. You probably all of you are using it today. But you also have this guy. He realized that books, you will read a lot of them, and you will also listen to them. So he started Storytel. And the really cool thing with this company is that they actually bought one of the oldest publisher, Nordstedts, here in Sweden, after just a couple of years. So here you have a young company coming and actually buying one of the oldest publishers. So that was big news. Or you have this guy. He realized that the world is changing. So he bought this company, TaskRabbit, and that was also all over the news. So they do services on demand. So if you need help to like put together your furniture and such. Or you have these guys. They created this company called Netflix. In the beginning, Netflix was just video on demand, but so you got your tape home, you watched it, and you sent it back. But they realized that the world was changing here as well. So they made it digital. So that's three ways of doing, actually buying, or being bought, or changing a company. So once again, they are looking at the mutual relations, the diversity of structure, but I would say the most important one, the changing conditions. And here you have a company that just released this video. the car you can subscribe to. So they are saying by not owning things, you're not owned by things. And I think this says a lot. You take this really old company and they are looking with the mutual relations again, how can they change? So maybe this is the key to actually unlocking the world. So what do? We do furniture and art on demand. So you pay to use when you need it or when you want it. So here's a video of what we're doing.
Are you that person who's first with everything? Well, there's a new player in town. They're called Bellico, a new design-on-demand service that just works.
Det viktigaste för mig är att få vara självständig. Mitt jobb tillåter mig att upptäcka världen och se olika platser och bo i olika städer.
I call it genius. And when you don't want it, they pick it up. Just like that. There when you need it, gone when you don't.
När nästa uppdrag kommer in och jag reser till en ny världsdel, då kan jag bara be dem komma och hämta möblerna och de är borta. Äntligen kan jag skapa mitt drömhem, mitt flexibla drömhem. Ett mer hållbart sätt att leva. Jag kan känna mig fri.
Okay, gotta go. Life's calling.
So, how does it work? So you go into our site, we have more than 60 brands and 1,000 products. So you choose your product and you pay 5% of the selling price for users actually to stream. So we call it that you stream, you pay per month. And it's only new furniture and we have art as well. And the nice thing is that we charge no extra fee or no extra interest. And here's one Danish designer, a really famous designer. So that's one piece just so you get an idea of the price. And then you go in, so we have to deliver it, right? And a lot of people today don't have cars. So for us that's great because we take care of delivery, we assemble, and we also remove the user's unwanted furniture. And it's all circular, so everything goes to second hand. And returns are included, so when you don't want it anymore, or maybe your life's changed, you don't need it anymore, we just pick it up. And if you really like this chair, so you're like falling in love with this chair, you just take away what you already pay, and just pay the difference. So it's actually cheaper than buying and then dividing the payment like you're doing today. And yeah, this is a question we get a lot. So what happens if it breaks or if I spill red wine in the white sofa? So your home insurance covers it, so you don't have to worry about anything. So now maybe you think, okay, so this is just a new furniture company, right? We don't see each other like this. We see ourselves being a lifestyle company. We see that we are here to like give freedom to people to actually change and live how they want, but also to change people's mindset, like Volvo is doing. They're saying like stop owning, start renting. Because all of this will help the sustainability going around and around. So a more easier life for the consumer. So you do this because you want to follow trends. You want the new like blue velvet sofa and then you want the red one. Or you just want the freedom to explore you, yourself, the style, or maybe the world. Or you just want to adapt to life. So today I have a girlfriend and I have a big bed, but tomorrow I don't. So I don't need that big bed anymore. So life changes and so do you. So maybe you're just one of those guys that wants to try before buying. So maybe sit in that sofa for a couple of months. If you like it, buy it. If not, we just pick it up. Or you're just one of those guys that want to be a recycling superhero. Since Bellico is part of the circular economy, you can get the new sofa and still be a sustainable person. And to make this happen, we need to approach the consumers from a lot of different angles. So we partnered up. So our partnerships actually reaches 8 of the biggest property owners in Sweden, the big 8. It's because they understood that, okay, we have a consumer that moves into an apartment, but directly when they move in, there's some things they need. So what about the electrical agreement? Or the broadband, I must be connected. And what about food? I want to have food delivered once per week. Or maybe I just want cleaning. I want cleaning 2 times per week. Or furniture. So that's our part. So they have chosen 10 companies like Drive Now, Mathem, Hemfrid, and us to make this partnership. So they get the kickback for every consumer that it gives to us. But we're also part of like creating lifestyle homes. So our first big project now with one of the companies is 4,000 apartments. So then we go into an area and we say, okay, in these apartments it's included this kind of furniture. So when you move in, it's ready. So we can talk about future of work, living, and traveling. And this is what we think about it, but also what the market is showing. So we see that the gig economy is going to be huge. Okay, so now we've been talking about circular economy, on-demand economy, and now gig economy. Okay, so gig economy means that you do gigs, like freelancers or consultants. You have your computer, you have your mobile, and say, okay, I moved to London, work for a couple of months, now I moved to Berlin, I moved to Sweden, I move around. And actually some researchers say that 1 billion of the 6 billion that works in the world will be freelancers and digital nomads by 2035. So that's crazy much people. And to help make this happen, we need to have a lot of tools. So you probably heard about all of these tools, but we will use them. So you have your floor plan, right? So you just take a photo, press a button, and you see it in 3D. Then you can take in your furniture and directly you can start chatting with a lot of different decorators on the mobile or online. And the next step for us is releasing now an app where you can actually, all the returns of the products that's been out will be uploaded, but you can also upload your furniture. So think about it like an Airbnb for furniture. And there you don't have to do anything. So you just take a picture and the mobile tells you, okay, is this a sofa? Yes. Is this a gray sofa? Yes. So you just press buttons and next step you just talk to it. And of course AR. So when you have all this ready, you've got your home, you want to see it. So you've probably seen IKEA's app where you have place. So you just take up the app and you can see how it looks in your apartment. And next up is the VR, when you actually can see, walk around in an apartment and see it. So this is what we think. But so once again, we are listening a lot to our consumers, but we're also listening a lot to our colleagues to see, okay, this IT guy that we have in the company, what can he learn me in marketing and sales? So, but I think the changing conditions is what is like the key here, once again. So how does SAS fit in all of this? I googled SAS and it says, okay, SAS is an airline. So I googled airline, and on Wikipedia it says, an airline is a company that provides air transport services for traveling passengers and freight. And I thought, well, is this 2018 or is this an old description? So maybe you could, I don't know, but I would change maybe the mindset here and go into lifestyle instead. So this is what it says when I Google lifestyle on Wikipedia. It says, lifestyle is the interest, opinions, behaviors, and behavioral orientations of an individual, group, or culture. So once again, the interest, listening to the customers, the behaviors, what are they doing, and people's individual. So going personal to every consumer. So maybe this could be the map for actually thriving in the new area. So I divided this, I looked at my own life. Okay, so I will go and travel. So before I travel, I have a lot of questions coming up. Plants. What to do with all the plants at home? Who will water my plants? Because I don't want them to be killed. So maybe I want a services when I book the flight. I want a service to say, okay, here's a glue lock, we send it home. I set it up in 5 minutes, a digital lock. Here's a service that comes home and water your plants while you are away. Clothes and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to Morocco. You know that. Maybe I need like special clothes for going to Morocco. Or maybe I want Moroccan clothes. So when I come there, I already have what I need. And you should have a kickback delivering all these services. And alarm. Okay, so when someone breaks in my apartment or in my house when I'm away, do I need to worry about all these? Or can you just send me an alarm before I leave that I easily set up on the door? And during the flight, so on the flight and when I'm there, what do I need then? Well, I would like to have playlists. Maybe Moroccan music, or maybe calm music when I'm on the flight because I'm afraid of flying. I don't know. Or books. The only time I read books is when I'm on vacation. And then I go to the airport and I buy like 10 books. But these books, I wouldn't have to buy them. I can just listen to them digitally. And you should have a kickback just telling me, okay, here's your playlist, Sebastian. Here's the books you like. And what about the car? So now I don't have a car, but a lot of people do. They take the car to the airport. What about having car service? So changing tires, cleaning it. So when I'm actually coming back from the trip, everything is fixed. I feel fresh. And afterwards. So you have all these memories now. You've seen a lot of things, you got a lot of impressions. So maybe you got inspired. I've been in Morocco, maybe I want Moroccan furniture. So here's some furniture to have to your home. And once again, you get the kickback. So the customer feels like, oh, you really know me. Now I can get my dreams and all my memories, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. And the big thing, change. So when you go away, you go to Bali for a yoga trip, or you go surfing, or you go skiing, or whatever you're doing. Maybe something happened when you go outside where you usually are and go to a new area. So maybe your mind changed, or how you are. And how can SAS be a part of this change? So these are cities and countries that a lot of people move to. I don't know if you know it, but 7% of the Swedish population live abroad for at least 6 months per year. 7%. So that's crazy much people that are moving. And once again, what do I need before? So before I move, okay, so I have my computer, that's okay. But before I move, maybe I need an apartment. What about insurances? Where do I find food? How do I get around? And during my stay, what do I need then? Maybe I need a lot of services there as well. And I think I would feel comfortable going to SAS for this, because you're this famous company that helps me like go from place A to place B. So I would also be comfortable getting all these services from you. And afterwards, okay, so I moved to Berlin, I was there for 6 months, it didn't work out. So now I'm moving on home to Stockholm. I don't have anything. I need an apartment, I need furniture, and do I need furniture for like a year? Did I find a German girlfriend that I want to bring home? What style does she have? Do we break up in Sweden? Maybe I move to Thailand again after 6 months, and I work from my computer again. So it's not me saying that all these words like mutual relations, diversity of structure, or changing conditions is important. It's this guy, Charles Darwin, and I think we should listen to him. So I guess that's about it. You can contact me or talk with me now afterwards. And I just want to finish with, so keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep living. Thank you. Great. If you have any questions,
I have one.
Yes.
Can you share anything about the results? Like, how many customers do you have? How is it going?
Of course. So we launched in September now, 2017. And I would say we have around maybe 120 paying customers. So the first, I would say, 4 or 5 months, it was just testing that, does it work? Okay, so when we have a delivery, how does it work? Does it work with a logistical company? Does it work with blah, 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 blah? And then we started doing these big partnerships. So we are the official now partner with, like I said, the property owners, the 8 of the biggest, but also like Comhem. We have an agreement with them. So they realized, okay, everything will be connected in the home. So do we need to add more services so that we own the platform? So that's what we've been working on as well. But yeah, we made our second investment round. We're just moving from an more incubator mode to an accelerate mode. So we're 11 employees. We are launching a new website, both for private individuals, but for companies. We're also launching an app together with Vinnova. I don't know if you know it. It's like this state company that gives you money if you do something good for sustainability. And we're opening up in Gothenburg, in Malmö, we're opening up in Copenhagen this year, so we're growing. But yes, 120 customers and counting.
Consumers or core companies, or both?
80%, or like 80% is private individuals. The rest is companies, and then you would think, oh, so it's like office furniture. No. So the big thing is like, we have a service, I didn't talk about it here, but we also have like short-term rentals up to 2 months. So if you're selling your apartment, that's a huge thing in Stockholm. That's actually a market worth 1 billion SEK every year. And there are like 1,700 companies doing this. Mostly women, 1 to 3 women, and they're analog. So what we've done is that we put all the products online, we added stylists, and then you could do it yourself. So we're actually halving the price. So that's the rest of the business consumers right now. We released that service like 1 month ago, and that's going really great because we don't have to really change the mindset. You're already doing this. So that will be something that we can use while changing people's behavior. That takes more time. That's why we partnered up, because we need to go from, yeah, sorry. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point you also said that all your furniture is new.
Yes.
So at any given time, if somebody would, rent furniture from you, would that person receive really brand new furniture?
Yes.
Why don't you circulate it, or?
Yes. So we do that as well. So first, we create the market with new furniture. So you go into our site, everything is new. And in the app where we're releasing probably this month, we call it Belco Market. So there you can go in like Bukowski's Market. So everything is like premium, second-hand, and you can rent it. So maybe you don't like the patina on that chair. You want like when someone have used it. Or maybe you just want to have a lower price because you think it's too high price renting new furniture. So everything is circular, and also the furniture that we take back from the customer, like their old ones that not coming from us, that also going into second-hand. So yeah, that's how we do it.
First of all, I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Great.
How maybe you said it before, but how do you define yourself?
Define?
Yeah, like if you would define Belco, what kind of company would that be? It's not a furniture company, obviously.
No. So we're a lifestyle company.
Yeah.
So we have gone from, if you're going to our site right now, it says stream furniture. So that was what we needed now when we come out on the market, because we needed to test this idea, right? So what we're doing now is that we have a lot of concept companies or digital bureaus working with us and looking at how can we remove our service from the site.
Yeah.
And just add like lifestyle things, like maybe think of, do you know Residence magazine? So think about Residence magazine. You have a lot of like articles. So it's more that you go into our site to get inspiration, or where to move, or where's the next job, or etc., etc. And plus, we have these services. So we go from focusing on services and a little bit inspiration to having inspiration and just a little bit of services. Does that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And we forgot to say there are some